Do you think AI is going to affect the future?
It scares me as well.
We have to compromise with our faith.
You scroll on Instagram Reels, you see people doing businesses. I'm running my own AI business.
These are words, to be honest.
This is literally my fifth or sixth business that I'm trying.
That's good. This is your perspective towards how you think about things and how you take it.
It was actually really easy money for me. It's my compass, I'll be honest. It's something I was really hesitant for.
We both are from broad families.
Dubai taught me speed as well. If it's halal, go for it.
Was there any self-doubt?
In this generation, in this era of everything that has been going on,
Failure is something different and success is different.
I still get laughed at.
We've been talking about motivation, we've been talking about failures, we've been talking about you building your business and a lot of stuff.
Speed matters.
What is one thing that you would say to your younger self now?
Money is flowing in really fast. Kids are smart nowadays. No one is nalla.
Until now on this channel, we have been talking about motivation, mindset, building yourself, and a lot of stuff. But at some point, it has to move beyond just ideas into real stories, action, and people who are really doing it. So today, I'm with someone who's in the middle of that journey. Not just dreaming big, but building big. Adnan is an Indian Muslim entrepreneur, currently running his own AI business in Sydney. But I won't say much. I'll let Adnan introduce himself.
Got it. Thank you, Zishan, for for this conversation and for hosting me. So my name is Adnan Khan, and I'm running my own AI business here in Sydney. So I'm originally from Hyderabad, India, but I was born and brought up in Saudi Arabia. Then I moved to UAE, and then now I'm here. So like how Zishan said, yes, I'm running my own AI business, and one of the things that I would really like to highlight is that this is literally my fifth or sixth business that I'm trying.
That's good.
And I think eventually hope it turns out good. I mean, it's not the greatest at the moment, but we're just hoping that, things start pulling up through and start, flowing through as well.
Got it.
So, yeah.
So before we dive deep into it, I just want to ask Adnan, I just want to share to the people out there that we both are from Hyderabad. We have a lot of things in common, but one of the biggest thing is that we both are from Hyderabad, India. So just to make the flow, just to make the audience feel what we are. So if there are any Hyderabadi people watching out there, I want to ask you something about Hyderabad. Just say anything about Hyderabad, but in Hyderabadi style to get that OG feel,
अब भाई अब मैं क्या बोलूँ मेरे को कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, लेकिन एक चीज़ सही है कि अपने हैदराबाद के लोग हैं जो है वाकई में मतलब बहुत सपोर्टिव है, एंड अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह से इट्स बीन रियली गुड। जब मैं सिडनी में आया, जो हैदराबादियों से सपोर्ट मिला, आपसे मुलाकात हुई सबसे, तो things are going good in that way, I could say. And I mean, आगे जैसा चलता है, I think we'll get to know more things.
Inshallah. Before we get started, I just want to ask you some questions about your faith, because we both are Muslims too. So what is the role that faith played in your journey, both personally and professionally?
Look, honestly, the world that we are currently in, it's revolving around the hustle culture, right? And when you have faith in it, you need to understand that that's a necessary pause that you take. While you're working, while you're doing anything, the world goes fast, right? So that's you have to be in speed always, and the direction will eventually come to. But faith keeps you in touch, keeps you intact, and just make sure that your professional, your personal lives, they align with your faith in accordance. For example, Salah. It's about 5 times, right? And maximum to maximum, which is gonna take you 10 minutes. That's about like 50 minutes out of 24 hours, right? If you can't take a pause for 50 minutes, and that too just about like in a gap of like 3-4 hours, it's something that comes naturally to you. So I think it's something that I really encourage young Muslims to just hold on to, and you will start to see the difference eventually.
So now when we are talking about all the stuff, faith and everything, I also want to ask, how did it build you? Okay, this is the perspective of you, how it affected you, but did it build you, and how did you when you just get some problems and stuff in your life, how do you see your faith at that time?
It's my compass, I'll be honest. It's how I say no. I mean, it's why I say no. It's how I say no. If I'm saying yes to a deal, I need to make sure that my faith is aligned to my principles, and my morals have all come from coming from my reliance on faith, from my reliance on Islam. And if you have those principles in order, right, even if you look at just look at all these successful Muslim entrepreneurs, none of them have shunned out the fact that they're Muslims. Once they just embrace the fact that they're Muslim, And once they started going for it, barakah just flows. And you will start to eventually feel it. Like, of course, yes, you will face a lot of setbacks, you will face a lot of uh you know I can say you'll face a lot of setbacks, as in a lot of push from the people as well, right? In the sense that many people will tell you, oh, you know what, why do you want to do it, why do you want to publicize when you're Muslim? But I think it's necessary, because Muslims in this current world, they need more role models. They need more people to come in and just talk about them more.
Yeah. So, okay, this is your perspective towards how like you think about things and how you take it. But when you just get into the professional world, and like for an example, it's not always you've been working through all the Muslims around. You've been working through a lot of different cultures. So how do you balance it that time? And does that affect your like thinking and stuff?
All right, let me be clear, Zishan. You need to make sure that your culture and your religion is different, right?
Yeah, sure.
You can't bring your culture anywhere else, right? You have to stick to the principles of your religion. Of course, I'm not saying to not embrace your culture. I mean, yes, you should, right? But at the same time, you have to be tolerant and you have to be cooperative of people from other backgrounds, right?
Exactly.
And that's going to literally evolve your perspective and your experiences in the world, and you're going to see yourself develop a lot.
Now we have done talking about how the world works around you. So these are words, to be honest. A lot of people think you have been saying them through your heart, but a lot of people thinks that these are just words to say. So give me a scenario that it got tested for you, and you stay like you stick to your faith and you stay resilient with your faith, not against that.
There was a deal that I was about to close,
Yeah.
and not gonna lie, it was a small deal,
Yeah.
and the size wasn't big. I mean, the work wasn't that much. It was actually really easy money for me, because they just wanted the AI model built and I had it prepared for it. They just had to use it. The only thing was that they wanted to finance this, and they wanted to get it. You know, the factor of interest was coming in,
Oh, got it.
the factor of riba, and it's something I was really hesitant for, because the people were amazing, right? They were dead ass amazing, and eventually I was like, I had to turn them down, because I was like, listen, I cannot go through with this. It's something that I had to give up. I had to give a reason, and I was like, this is something that doesn't align with my faith, and that's how I was like, oh, you know what, if there is any other way that we can do it. They turned down the deal. It was honestly a heartbreak, right? But eventually, I'm talking about 1 week later. 1 week later, I almost got 1.5 times bigger size deal, and it was all cash.
Wow.
So when you just like put your trust, you will start to notice that a lot of things will just start falling into place.
Exactly. So that's your point, and I'll really appreciate and love that you've been sticking to your faith in those hard moments too. So, what is one thing that you would like to say to the young entrepreneurs out there who are trying to build the future? Maybe they are in their teens or early 20s who
Yep.
want to do something. So, they sometimes people feel like even me, I'm in Australia now. So what we feel is that the world around us doesn't work the way we want to, and sometimes we feel like we have to compromise with our faith. So what would you like to give say to the people out there who think like that, or who just get those scenarios in their mind?
Got it. Look, I've been there. I've done that, and I know that it gets difficult. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. But once you shift your mindset that Islam doesn't limit you, it liberates you. It's something that you need to just factor in into your lifestyle as well. And there's one more thing that I really love, and something that I've been following with, and it's just this quote, right? It's tawakkal and taqwa.
For sure.
Right? These are two things. Once you ensure that you have your tawakkal in place and your taqwa in place, things will just start flowing into place. Tawakkal is what? Tawakkal is what? It's trust in Allah,
Exactly.
right? And it's actually the same thing that people say, trust the process.
Yeah.
I trust the process, not trust the universe or whatever. But our interpretation is that trust in Allah.
Exactly.
And taqwa is what? Fearing
Or
of
go with.
fearing of Allah, right? Once you have these two things in mind, you can start doing everything, just head on with confidence. You don't need to hold back from anything, and you don't need to actually, just spend your time into that overthinking circle. So eventually things start playing out.
Yeah. So that's really good. I really appreciate that, and I hope the guys out there would love it.
Yeah.
And another question to you is: you've been born and brought up in Saudi Arabia, then studied your engineering in Dubai, and now you are in Sydney. After your masters, you've been building businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
So does this affect you how you see the world, or do you think it that you do you take it as an edge over you? Like do you think it is a privilege for you?
It is a privilege. I'll be honest. Alhamdulillah, I've been blessed for it. And look, when I was in Saudi taught me a lot of things, right? When I moved to Dubai, it gave me a broader perspective, a sense of humility and the way things move, right? Dubai taught me speed as well, at which you have to move, at what you have to do. And once I came to Sydney, I realized that the world is so big and you are so small, Zishan, right? You are literally limitless. Right? You can do anything and everything that you want. Doesn't matter what your society is and what your culture is. If you want to do something, go for it. As long as you need to just make sure the difference between halal and haram.
Yeah.
If it's halal, go for it. There is literally nothing that can stop you.
So that's really good that you really take it as a privilege, other than just taking. I'm not connected because I've seen a lot of people crying out there,
Yeah.
and so I just want to ask: is there anything like is the entrepreneurship or building businesses and stuff? So is this idea was there with you when you was a kid, or it just got to you when you went to Dubai or somewhere?
It actually got into me when I was in Dubai,
Yeah.
and you scroll on Instagram reels, you see people doing businesses and stuff and everything. And eventually, I did get the motivation to start a business in Dubai, and things have been just slowly going on from there. And not gonna lie, it has been frustrating. It has been really, really annoying, and it has been. I can't even imagine. Like I can't even say it, but it's something that I really want to cuss out, but I can't. But even like when I was in Dubai, right? I actually had my own company formed over there. Now it was more like a 21-year-old guy, right, with no experience, no experience. Okay,
Yeah.
I just had like 6 months of internship, no experience, nothing, and I just have a company formed on my name, right? And I started off with it. I was literally losing hair. I was literally losing hair, and it was stressful. And I didn't know what to do, where to start off. Right? Half of the time I was just building one website instead of concentrating on the product. I was actually a blockchain startup, and eventually, and then yeah, I was like, it failed, right? And like, you know what? Let me just take the setback and then move on. While I was in Saudi, and believe me, Zishan, I've actually tried all those side hustles. You want to talk about drop shipping? I've tried it. You want to talk about e-commerce? I've tried it. Forex trading, crypto. I've tried. Name anything and everything. I've tried all of them. And then I started drop shipping. Drop shipping was good. No, no, no. I made a bit of money too, right? But eventually I was like, you know what? It's not going to sustain for long. Then just decided to just stop it and then move on. And then that's how I came to decided to go for masters. Came to Australia. When I came to Australia, I was lucky enough to land a sales role, right? So that gave me a really big vision of, selling, of like how to do things. If you ask me if there is something that I really wish that I started before, it was sales.
Mm.
And once you know how to sell anything, you will be able to sell yourself into greater things. And that's something that you will get with time, with experience. I'm not the greatest at sales, right? But it gave me a sense of a lot of things. And that's when I decided, oh, you know what? Because I've done computer science engineering and because I've had the technical background of it, I was like, you know what? Let me just build this. Let me just start selling it. So not gonna lie, that's how it took root because I got the skills over there. Never really thought that it would connect, but eventually things started falling into place. A little like this.
Okay, that's a really great perspective towards for that, and even those experiences taught you a lot of stuff. And so we both are from brown families, and we know how expectations of our families go back there.
Yeah.
So they want security, they want you to get a proper job, get stable, get good. So what were your family expectations? And when you said them, you want to start a business out there, and like, if you start from nothing, that's a different thing there. But if you're earning certain amount and then you say that I want to start a business, like Indian parents, specifically our people, think it's taking a big risk and there's a high probability of failing. Did it affected you first of all? And if it did, how did it affected you?
Um, it did affect me, and personally, it wasn't my own family, but it was more like the extended range of family around me. Everyone was like, even before they were like, oh, you know what? Because I don't want to boast. Alhamdulillah, I've always gotten good grades, always studied well and everything. So naturally, the expectation was that, oh, you know what? This guy's gonna land a good job,
Yeah,
right? Naturally, that was the expectation.
exactly.
But eventually, I am really, really blessed with the fact that my dad and my mom have been really supportive. And even when I started, posting reels on Instagram, and even when I started, building this business and stuff, I was literally up, maybe 20 hours a day, talking about back in January and stuff. I was at home that, and mom and dad were extremely supportive of it, right? Because um, they were like, you know what, if you think that you can do it, just go for it, right?
Yeah.
And I did have to fight with them a bit. They're like, get a job, it's fine, get stability. Like, I'll do it. And it's something that I still have in mind, right? It's something that, I might do a job,
Yeah.
but I don't want anything or anyone to hinder my passion, because my passion at the end of the day is to, build a business. Yeah. Right. And yes, the money will come, money will go. That's going to be there. But at the same time, if you just know how to balance those things out,
Yeah.
eventually things, like people start getting supportive. People start actually believing in you more, right? When I first started it off, no one really had an idea. But I can proudly say right now, I have literally every family member, you know, backing me up, supporting and giving me references, trying to get me business. At the least they're doing is being really supportive. So I would say that the initial stages, it was really difficult. But eventually when people started seeing that, oh, you know what, this guy is doing something good, something that is really different from, the rest of, what everyone else is doing. And that's how I started getting support. And that actually is the kind of pressure that I'm, thriving on right now, I can say. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be it.
Okay, your family have been supportive. You got good grades and stuff, and still after that, because people generally our culture people who want stable job,
Yes.
still they were supportive. So firstly, I would like to thank you. If your parents are watching, I would like to thank them. And secondly, I would like to say that when you started all these, you were from a computer science background. You've been getting good grades and stuff. So was there any self doubt because you get into sales first, and then you got into AI business? So did you thought, okay, I've been studying like last 5 to 6 years about computer science and stuff, and now I'm getting into sales. It's completely different field, and maybe what I'm doing, any self doubt, any because being a 21-year-old or a 23-year-old after passing out, being so young, you get self doubts. Even everybody does. Everybody does. So what were those, and how did you overcome that?
Look, self doubt is going to be there. It's going to be there. Now, if I say it from a faith perspective, in Hyderabad was shaitan ke waswase hai. ठीक है. Um, self doubts will always be there, Zishan. And to everyone who's watching, it's okay to have self doubts, right? But at the same time, you are not obliged to stay in that zone, right? Even now, I get self doubts. Whatever I'm doing, maybe I go back home, it's gonna be there. I will have, like, even if I go home, I'm gonna be like, did I do a good job on the podcast? Did I talk any sense or anything? And once you realize that, it's just a passing moment. You can't really just catch it and keep it in your heart and be like, oh, you know what? Let me just think about it more, overthink it, and slowly, mess with my brain. You're not obliged to do that. You need to understand my first thing. And second thing is that life, when it starts growing, when it starts throwing things at you, right? To be able to navigate it through each situation is something that is really important.
After those self doubts and a lot of failures and the businesses you mentioned, and you've been trying a lot of stuff, a lot of people out there don't do it. I hope they would. And so what was your really first win that you thought, okay, this, if I want this, you thought like, okay, I'm gonna do anything. I can do anything.
It was when I first made my reel. That was, that was one of the things, like, of course, the monetary benefits that I have, monetary events are different. But in the time that I really thought that I can literally do uh, everything, right? Was when I first made my reel. When I first made it, I literally remember, it was my sister shooting the video, my younger sister. And, she was literally, helping me, just like, but yeah, just make sure you have this, you have that. And eventually I didn't think, and that reel, I think it has about 6,000 views. And
Very first one.
the first one,
Oh,
6,000 views. I was like, okay, things are going good. I didn't get laughed at a lot. I still get laughed at. But it's something that when I first made the reel, that, the moment when I thought that, oh, people will judge, people will actually tell me things or laugh at me. That thing just went off. And that's when I started becoming more confident and more upright with my approaches. Even in like business and personal life, my communication skills improved a lot. I don't really say and ahs as much as I used to. And right now, most of the videos that I take are just in like one go. So yeah.
that's really good. You learned a lot of stuff and been learning actually in the process of doing it too. So what was like, there are a lot of failures and stuff. So and you mentioned a lot of them, to be honest. So how did you overcome that, failures, small failures and stuff? And what was the mindset that you had, like, okay, I'm gonna fail, that is what it is. But what was the thing that made you go again? Because what people generally think is failure is not part of success. They think failure is something different and success is different. So how do you take failure as, and how did you overcome it?
But, uh, this is something that I really want to say, right? Uh, most of your viewers, right, and including you as well, our parents have given us a life, right? But that's something that you hear. But I want you to think this way, right? You have been given the privilege to fail that your parents didn't have. So what do you have to lose, right? You have literally been given the privilege to fail. Yeah. And the privilege to fail is extremely important. Right? Yeah. Now, for example, Zishan, small question, right? If anything doesn't work out for you, what are your parents gonna say?
It is what it is. If they had trust in me, okay, that's it. Come on, we are there for you. They will be saying, okay, all the time, we are there for you. And even I went to Australia. I came to Australia when I was 19. It was really hard for me, and things didn't go the way they have to all the time. But they didn't say a word to me. They were always tensed about it. They were always stressed about it, but they were always supportive. And even when I started creating content, my mother is the biggest supporter for me now. That's what it is. So
Yeah. But that's what I say, because you have been given the privilege to fail. So why not take the chance, right? You know, it's something that, my dad says as well. My dad has come till here, right? In this generation, in this era of everything that has been going on, you have the capacity and you have the ability to go till big, right? You can't literally stay on the same level. So once you have the drive and once you have the motivation to just hit that level, you will literally feel like, I can fucking do it.
when you said motivation, so what do you think is motivation? Like, there are a lot of motivation videos out there. I make motivation videos too. And so what do you think motivation is? And how do you think it helps you build discipline?
Motivation is, uh, it's a drive, right? And it's something that, comes in phases and comes in waves. And it's actually a really simple thing. And I actually tried it as well. You do something for, 21 days, it becomes a habit. But if you do something for 90 days, it becomes a lifestyle, right? Initially, everything and anything that you do is going to be difficult, right? And it will require a certain amount of motivation to do, right? All the self-doubts and everything, you literally have to, keep pushing all the negative thoughts aside, and you have to build the motivation. Once you build the motivation, once you get into the habit, you will start to notice your patterns change as well. Discipline starts falling into place too. You will automatically, it's something that will, that thing, like for example, you making videos, right? Initially, I'm pretty sure it was difficult for you.
Even it's now for me, but it's not as it was. Yeah.
It is difficult. But for you, you know that I have to create a video.
Yeah.
Right? By hook or by crook, even if I blab a shit, I have to create a video. That's something that you have to do. And that's discipline. Initially, it was hard for you because once you cross through that phase, then discipline comes. So I believe that you have to use the motivation to drive yourself, and when things start falling into place, discipline will play a major role, and you will build that into your lifestyle.